Good morning and welcome to the January 13th meeting of the Black Creek Oyster Bay Services Committee. My name is Jake Martins. I'm the General Manager of Corporate Services and the Corporate Officer for the Comox Valley Regional District. As this is the first meeting of 2025, I'm pleased to call this meeting to order in order to conduct the elections for the Chair and Vice Chair positions for this year. I'll start just by recognizing that we're conducting our business today on the traditional unceded territory of the Comox First Nation. And then we'll proceed into the elections. So for this process, I think the directors are quite familiar with it, but in short, I will call for nominations 3 times for the position of chair. Any director may nominate another director for that position. And then following that call for nominations, I will ask to see if the director is going to let their name stand. We'll conduct the same process for the election of the vice chair, and following that, I'll turn the business or the meeting management over to that individual. This is a somewhat unique committee in which we only have 2 directors, so the process is not quite as involved. So I'll just inquire if there's any questions with either of the directors before we begin.
No.
Director Grieve, question?
Does anybody have a quarter?
Sorry, does anyone have a what? Oh, a quarter, yes. Okay, so thank you, directors. And I'll start here with calling for nominations for the position of chair. Just if you'd like to do so, please raise your hand or push the button on your microphone.
I would like to nominate Director Grieve.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Rice. I've noted that. I'll call a second time for nominations for the position of chair. And I'll call a third and final time. Thank you very much. So, Director Grieve, do you allow your name to stand for the position of chair?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Well, as the only nominee, I'm pleased to announce you as acclaimed as the chair for the Black Creek Oyster Bay Services Committee. Next, Director Grieve?
I'm just anticipating your next move.
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Director Rice for vice chair.
Thank you. After calling for a first time for the director position of vice chair, I've heard Director Rice nominated. And I'll call a second time and a third and final time. And Director Rice, do you allow your name to stand for vice chair?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm pleased to announce you as vice chair for 2025. Directors, there's no ballots to destroy, no other further process to undertake. So thank you so much for your participation. And I will turn matters over to Chair Grieve to preside over the remainder of the meeting.
I'd like to thank Jake for that and thank Director Rice for his kind words of nomination. As was previously said, this is a kind of a unique little service area because it spans 2 regional districts and contains 2 electoral area directors. So it's either unanimous or defeated every single motion we do, which makes it kind of unique, but has a long tradition of cooperation between the 2 electoral areas. We share a boundary along the Oyster River, and we share a fire service, and we share a water service, and one day maybe even a sewer service. So thinking ahead, you know, we have to keep working together because so far it's been very beneficial for our residents on both sides of the river.
I would agree.
Thank you very much. We're going to move right into this. The first item of business is the resolution status report for receipt.
Move receipt.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion on the resolution status report?
No.
Seeing none, I'll ask if anybody's opposed to receipt. Seeing none, that carries. Reports. Fire Protection Service Area Amendment, reported from January 6th about a proposed boundary amendment to the Black Creek Oyster Bay Fire Service.
Move receipt.
And I'll second on receipt and turn it over to the CIO for introductions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning. Bruce Green, our Regional Rural Fire Chief and Fire Chief of the Oyster River Fire Rescue, will be introducing the staff report, and I believe Lisa Dennis, our Manager of Administrative Services, can assist as needed as well. So Bruce, over to you.
Thanks, James. Through the CEO to the chair and the committee. We were approached by the owner of 7575 Sturgis Road about being included in the fire protection area. Currently our fire protection area goes down Sturgis Road, and his is one of the only properties is not included in. He had just recently purchased the property. It should be noted that there is a bridge on Sturgis Road that is inaccessible for the fire departments because our trucks aren't ready to go over it at this time. That being said, the owner of this property is working diligently to have that bridge rectified so we can get our trucks over it. With that, I open it up to any questions.
Any questions, Director?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, I do a few. I'm quite familiar with that supposed bridge. And I'm curious as to how one of the property owners is he going to get it engineered, or is there some way you can actually validate it to get it to the point where you could be comfortable taking the trucks over?
I'm not sure the process that he's undertaking, but I know he does have an engineer involved. He came down and got all the axles and measured out the fire trucks and got the weight of the fire trucks that he's going to take to the engineer and see if the bridge can be rated or upgraded. I'm not sure of the process he's undertaking, but he is undertaking a process to get it done.
So imagine Modi would be the final call on that, right?
Yes, well, I believe Modi says it's not their bridge.
Oh, one of those. Okay. So that's going to be interesting. So who's going to assume the liability? Certainly not Area C.
No, well, we have an alternate way in there. We go through the
Yeah, I know we do.
end of Kelland Road through the farm there and out that
Okay.
way.
Okay, so this is not in an emergency. We have an egress route already mapped out. I would expect no less from you. Thank you, Fire Chief Green. So that brings us to the point of receiving the report. So anybody opposed to receipt? Seeing none, that carries. There's a recommendation attached.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move the recommendation that the board consider 3 readings and subsequent adoption of bylaw number 857, being the Black Creek Oyster Bay Fire Protection Local Service Area Conversion Establishment bylaw number 1964-1997, amendment number 10 to amend the boundary of the Black Creek Oyster Bay Fire Protection Service Area to include the property at 7575 Sturgis Road as outlined in the staff report dated January 6, 2025, and further that the directors for Electoral Area C and Electoral Area D, being the service participants, be authorized to consent to the amendment of bylaw number 1964, being the Black Creek Oyster Bay Fire Protection Service Local Service Area Conversion Establishment bylaw number 1964-1997 in writing.
And I'll second that. Any further discussion on the actual motion? Seeing it none, call a question. All in favor? Any opposed? That carries unanimously. Thank you, Fire Chief Green. So that brings us to the end of the first inaugural meeting of the Black Creek Oyster Bay Services. And I'd like to thank Director Rice for zooming in, and hopefully we'll get together, I guess February is our next chance to get together. So we'll see you then, if not before. Thank you. And a motion to terminate, please.
So moved.
I'll second that. Anybody opposed termination? That carries. Thank you all.
Thank you.